Let's go, gang. Highest in the room, yo, we get fucked up. Hey, you can count on Trey Cap, bring the loud back. Hey, get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run. Yeah, keep the up or leave the fuck a Folgers. Little bitch, I made the beat and dropped the full verse. I just hit a steelo, I got dripped up. Package born and raised, bitch, I got dripped up.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the Canna Kuyas. My name is Eric Esteban.
And I'm Mitch Narito.
And this is the Canna Kuyas, where we will delve into the cannabis culture, but with a little bit of a Filipino-American twist.
Indeed.
Yeah. So if you heard our first episode, you heard kind of my story. But this time, I want to meet my co-host, and I want you to get to know Mitch. So, Mitch, when was the first time you smoked cannabis?
I didn't smoke weed until I turned 21.
For real?
Yeah, I was really straight edge until then.
Straight edge. You were like straight edge until you were legal.
Yeah, I didn't drink or touch weed until my 21st birthday.
Wow.
But I grew up around it. Like, I grew up in Los Angeles. I come from Eagle Rock. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mitch Narito. I'm an actor. Some of you guys might have seen me on The Good Place. I played Donkey Doug. And I grew up out here in Los Angeles. And it's a trip because I've seen weed evolve in the city of LA, like starting from like a young age, you know? Like I remember being first exposed to weed in elementary school. I was a D.A.R.E. I was in D.A.R.E. Do you know what D.A.R.E. is?
Of course, we all know what D.A.R.E. was.
Yeah.
What's it the acronym for? What is it?
Drug Abuse Resistance Education.
Gee, I didn't even bother to bring. I just dare to try it.
Yeah.
I took it as a dare.
Yeah. No, nowadays, it's drugs are really expensive.
They are. That's why I grow my own.
No, but yeah, like the first time that I was exposed to weed, is through D.A.R.E. They had like a display case and it had like a bunch of drugs in it. Like it's
For
like
real?
Yeah, it was like an arts and crafts project.
I remember cops coming to visit for our school, but I don't remember them bringing like samples.
Yeah, no, but it was like locked up, you know, like it was,
but still, I didn't think they didn't give us visual reference to what it was.
It's like this is marijuana, this is cocaine, these are uppers, downers, pills, poppers.
How was cocaine? Was it like a pile of powder, or what
No, it was like a little baggie. Yeah, it was like a little bit.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't like real, like it was like replica stuff. Like I don't think they'd actually. Well, I don't know.
Tuned for future episodes, and I'll tell you the first time I was offered cocaine. But that's not gonna be for episode 2. That's for later episodes.
Yeah.
Just a tease for later episodes.
We're talking about weed, man.
We're talking about weed first. Weed first for
weed.
sure. Then drug stories and all that stuff. We're gonna try to talk about a lot of different things and try to be fun about it because we're both comedians and we like to talk. And Mitch was just telling you about how you grew up in LA. See, I grew up in Chicago, like like you learned in episode 1, and weed was very hard to come by. I did not see weed really until like the first time I smoked weed.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to episode 1 to hear that story if you guys want to hear that. But Mitch, so you said you didn't smoke weed until you were 21, but you said you saw it when you were in grade school.
Yeah, like
with the D.A.R.E. program.
Yeah.
But when was the first time, or when's the first time you tried weed, or what? I don't know. I don't want to lead you. Just go ahead.
Tell
me your history with weed.
My history. Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. So, weed started coming into the picture like when I was like 7th or 8th grade. Like there would be like school parties and then kids would sneak away. You know, they'd smoke like a super thin joint. Like I'd never join them, but
would some of them be smoking cigarettes too, or was it
probably
mostly just weed?
Yeah, probably. Like like some of the kids,
they had cigarettes in that time when I was a kid. So that's what I'm saying. Like it was.
No, they had
that, but they didn't have any weed in Chicago.
Yeah, they had the kid. It was like kids like trying to be cool, partying, you know, like they'd have
That's
alcohol
cool. You
and
had
stuff.
weed in grammar school. That's
Uh, yeah, but like I had never like done it before because I never wanted to feel like I was out of control.
so
Yeah.
D.A.R.E worked for you.
Yeah, like I was just like I want to be aware and I want to be like, you know, on point in terms of like how I think, you know, like
Sure.
that's how I saw it. Like I was kind of a nerd.
Well, I mean, most, I wouldn't even say Filipinos. I would say Asian American kids or kids of immigrants. They were grown up to be straight edge. I mean, a lot of us were. You've kind of walked straight line. That's what you wanted, get a good job and all the other stuff. So, you know,
Yeah, drugs were dirty.
yeah,
you
drugs
know?
are bad.
Drugs were.
So
Don't do that one.
that's not good for you.
You'll have no future if you do that one.
Exactly. Yeah.
like but yeah, so um I remember it started becoming more prevalent in high school. Like my friends like uh you know, they'd get their weed from random connects.
Okay.
It'd be just whoever had weed, they had weed, and then everyone was like, "Hey, I got some. You guys wanna smoke?" And my buddies would do it. They were DJs and stuff, and and you know, like it was part of the thing. Like they'd get really stoned, and then they'd freaking just have DJ sessions. You know?
That sounds really fun.
No, yeah, it'd be cool. Like I'd hang out and I'd just listen to music, play video games or whatever.
But you
like,
didn't smoke with them?
No, like I was like I was usually DD, you know. So
Oh, okay. So, designated driver.
yeah. So
Sometimes like whenever somebody's D and it's like an acronym or something, I always think
I
of
am Daredevil.
or Dungeon Master
Yeah.
from Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons. So I was like, well, you were the Dungeon Master, and I'm like, oh no, designated driver. So I wanted to make sure that everybody listening didn't think the same thing I was thinking, that you were a Dungeon Master.
Oh no, I was in Double Dragon.
No, but I got you. You were a designated driver, so you didn't. You're the guy. You so you drove to the DJ gigs? Or what?
Yeah. I was all reliable. You know, like
Nice.
We load up the car like with equipment. I was responsible for lights, and technically I was security in case the stage ever got rushed.
Fuck you gonna stop?
I don't know. Again, I've been hit in the mouth. It's okay. But
You know, and I feel like I had a whole one-man show about how I feel like everybody should at least get punched in the face at one time, because you got to experience that shit. You got to get into at least one fight in your life, because you really don't know that much about yourself until you've experienced that. That's just me. That's my philosophy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I have 2 daughters now, so I hope they don't get into a fist fight.
No. It's like it's an experience, definitely.
Oh, it is. It's definitely an experience. I've experienced it multiple times.
What did Tyson used to say? Like everyone has a plan until they get socked in the mouth.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's just true. I feel like there's some people in our society that have never been hit in the face, and they need to be at least hit once in the face.
Just once.
Once.
Hey, you're acting up. Just.
And I would love to volunteer my services for some people.
Humble yourself.
Anyway, continue with your story before we digress
Oh,
to
yeah.
some people who I want to punch in the face.
Like I remember the first time any of my friends got busted for weed.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. I wasn't part of anything, but like I just had to, you know, it was like one of those growing up experiences where I felt like I was just watching a movie play out, you know. So we were at a gig, and it was like me and 3 of my buddies, and at the beginning of the night, they got a text or they got a call from one of their parents, and they were like, "Hey, what time is your gig done? We have to talk." And immediately they knew. It's like, "Oh, dude, they found our pipe. They found all the weed."
They must have left it somewhere.
Yeah, no, they left it.
Have.
They left it in the glove, like idiots. So that's their own goddamn
Gotta be
fault.
smart, man.
Yeah, you can't be so obvious, you know.
Yeah, I was always spy-like with my weed, especially when I was younger, because I was in Chicago, so like it was hard to get. You had to be like a spy to get it, and then you also had to be like a spy when you had it, because if you got caught with that shit, you were going to jail.
Yeah.
So it was different. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Yes. So like they got caught, and then like, you know, like they were tripping about it the whole night, you know, like they were going through the gig, and all they could think about is like, oh, we're gonna have to talk to.
Did they smoke before the gig, or they were too stressed?
Oh no. On the way to the gig, they smoked, and then they got the call, and it killed their high.
That's what I was about to say, because man, that's a waste of weed. I mean, I'd be too stressed out to think about.
Yeah,
that
like
shit.
they were in their heads, and I was just like, and I'm just like, I don't know what you guys are going through right now, like.
I mean, I could have definitely, because I remember there was this one time where we got caught, my friends, and then my friend's dad spanked him in front of me.
Oh.
And I was like,
how old was he?
Oh, we were like teenagers. We were like 12, 13 maybe. We were still young enough to spank, but old enough to where I was like, oh my God, this is a weird situation.
This is uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you know how you ever been spanked, or did you get spanked?
Yeah. No, I got disciplined growing up, and
Yeah.
then I've been around like other Filipino families who use the belt.
But did they use the belt in front of you?
Yeah, like.
Oh, they was just like they just.
Yeah, it was just like. It was just kind of like.
It made everybody in the room uncomfortable, I would think.
No, everyone was just like, okay.
Because I know I was uncomfortable as hell in that room when they were getting spanked.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, just
with
go
the
play.
homies screaming, ah! Oh my God, I was the worst.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I've been in that situation too.
I've been in that situation too.
Like family too, growing up, like cousins and whatnot.
So what happened to your friends when they went home? What?
So like.
Did they get spanked? Did you have to watch them get spanked?
No. That would have been more uncomfortable.
I think that'd have been a better.
That would have been so uncomfortable.
I'm just saying, because it was weird for me as a 12-year-old kid to watch these two kids get spanked, and I was like, "Ooh, Lord!"
Yeah.
And I thought he was gonna spank me too, because I did some of what they were getting spanked for. I did it with him, so I was worried that he was gonna spank me too. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell me what happened to your friends when they got caught.
No, so like we got back to my homie's house, and then like. His mom and one of the other guys' moms were waiting, right? So
they grouped to the moms. The moms came to the
the moms came together,
God.
right?
When two Filipinas get together, two Filipino moms, oh, you're in trouble, boy.
Yeah, that's a lot, right?
You're in trouble.
So we got there, we unloaded, and then the moms were like, "Okay, boys, are you hungry? Let's go to Denny's," right? Like, and my friends were like, "Oh. Crap, Denny's, they want somewhere public so they can call us out, so we can't act up or anything, or no, like." And in my head, I'm like, you're lucky. If you're going out in public, that means they can't kill you in public.
For real, yeah. You go in a public place and nobody's gonna strangle your ass.
So, we got to Denny's. We eat our food, and like they're paying, so I'm just enjoying my grand slam.
Give me 2 super birds.
Yeah. I might have had a moons over my head. I don't know.
Dude.
But one of those. And then after, we were sitting around, and then the moms, they stopped eating, and then they're like, "Okay, boys, we have something to talk to you about. We found your drugs, and we want to know what the deal is, right?" And like the whole night, my friends were trying to get their story straight. They're talking to each other, like, "Okay, guys, this is what we're gonna say. We tried it once, we didn't like it, and then we didn't know what to do with the drugs, so we're just hanging on to them, right? Or it was something like, this is our friends. He asked us to hold it for him, or it was like stuff like that. Right?
That shit never worked,
right? So they're like getting their story straight. So the moms were like, "Hey, okay, so what's the deal? Tell us, have you guys been doing this long? Tell us the truth."
Sure.
And so they go down the line. It's my first friend, and he's like, "Yeah, we tried it once, we didn't like it. I should have thrown it away. I just didn't know what to do with it, right?" And then these guys are like bearing their souls. And some of them are starting to get emotional, right? Some of them are tearing up. Some of them are starting to oh no,
that's always the go-to. After, if they don't spank you, then you just start to cry because you're anticipating the spank and not getting it, but you're gonna cry anyway.
No, a lot of it was like, "Oh no, I'm a disappointment." I'm disappointed in my parents, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? So my next friend's like, "I'm sorry, I just did it with them. I'm not gonna do it again, right?" it goes down the line. It gets down to me, and I'm like, I don't do it, right? And the moms looked at me like, no, hell no. Like, out of all of them, you're the one. You're the one.
You grew up to be Donkey Doug. For sure you did.
No, this was well before.
I know. I'm just saying.
This was pre-mustache.
Okay. Straight up, I'm thinking of like 12-year-old you with this big ass mustache.
Oh yeah. I was born with it. I came out of the womb this way.
No, you're how old are you at this point? You're like what, 15, 16, what? DJ and parties, you got to be like 16. 17.
Yeah, no, it was like 16, 17.
Okay.
Right. And so yeah, like they get to me and the moms are like, yeah, you don't do it. It's okay. This is a safe space. We won't tell your parents, like. And I'm
safe space at Denny's.
Yeah.
Filipina titas had an intervention at Denny's.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. That's what it was. So. I'm like, no, I didn't do it. And then at this time, like my friends, like, they're all broken up and they're like, no, he's not lying. He really doesn't do it. Right. Like, and like the titas looked at me like, what? Right. Like out of everyone, man. No.
We expected you to be the one who bought it for him.
Yeah. Like this was where you got, like, you're the one
we thought you was the one who grew it.
Yeah. You're the sketchy one, like I was like, okay. So after that, like it was kind of like I went about my business, like
yeah, because you got caught, but you weren't you weren't involved. So
I felt vindicated for being a square, like I was like, yeah, that's right, I'm a good boy. That's what it was. But then after that, like. My friends.
So these guys, were they scared straight? Did they stop?
No, not at all, man. Like, if anything, they continued. They just got better at hiding it.
Of course.
Right? Because they're like, I don't want to have a situation like that again.
You never want to have a cry fest at Denny's.
Yeah, it was like a sober couple of weeks. like weeks. I'm not even going to go into, like, multiple months, but like a sober couple of weeks.
Sure.
And then people are like, smoke again, and then graduated high school, and then in college, that's when it got really crazy for my friends, because this was when
this is the same group of friends.
Yeah, like them, and then like other people I knew from grade school. Like they ended up going out to school in the OC, right?
Okay.
And while they were out there, they were like, hey, what's a way to get like free weed? Because this was before dispensaries were even like a thought. Like none of the legalization laws had passed yet. So
you still had to have a good connect.
Yeah, you had to have like someone that grew, or like someone to like connect to. And like prior to this, it was always just calling some random person, like, and then a friend of a friend, or like it's like, hey.
My guy when I first moved here was named Shaka.
Shaka.
Yeah, that was his first. That's the name he gave me.
Like tune the.
I feel like it was really his name. He was a black dude.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like it was really his name. That's the only name he gave me. So in my phone it was Shaka, and so I'd just call Shaka whenever I needed to hook up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But then it would suck because I'd go to Shaka's apartment, which was in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And trying to find parking at Shaka's apartment was the worst. But then you'd find parking, and then of course what happens? Hey man, let's smoke, and then he smokes some of my weed, and I buy weed from him, and you're like putting weed in, and we're smoking weed together, and we're smoking a bowl, and I'm like, man, I just bought an eighth from you, and now you took just a gram from me for the bowl, and I'm like, I don't like this idea and this predicament.
Yeah, so pretty much like my homies became the opposite of that.
Right? They became Shaka.
Yeah, like they ended up finding a big connect, and they would like I remember going with them on like field trips, right? And they'd pick up like garbage bags of weed, right? Like multiple garbage bags of weed, and then they'd bring it back.
Talk about like pounds and pounds of weed.
Yeah, like a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And like if you got caught with that, like you would get.
You're a distributor.
You're a distributor,
yeah.
And like yeah, so my friends would like they pooled their money. They would buy these garbage
bags of weed.
Yeah, split them up, and then sell them. And they became really popular. And for a certain time, I'm pretty sure they were supplying a lot of Orange County, like at least the college kids, with weed.
For sure, like at least your campus for sure.
Yeah.
Or their campus.
No,
sure.
it was like
Now, did you go to school with them or
no,
or did you
I had graduated early because like technically I graduated college in 3 years.
Me too.
And so like I still had a lease at the apartment in my college town. So
Oh, okay. So you just
I was just chilling.
Yeah.
I would just go over with them, right? Like, and I would hang out with them, and I still didn't smoke weed at any of this. Like I would just
even when your kids, your friends had built up this drug empire in Orange County, you still hadn't sampled the supply.
Yeah, I just go out and hang out. You know, like they're
With
like
all of it around you, where all your homies are smoking, and you still didn't.
yeah, there'd be, like it would be like we you know they'd be partying or like you know like it'd be like a frat house. You know, like they kind of like lived in a frat house kind of like situation. And they'd have like a bunch of people over at all times, and then they'd be smoking, you know, bongs, blunts, whatever, you know, like they'd just be passing it around. And like people that didn't know me, like they tried to pass me, and then all my homies that were there would be like, oh no, he's good, he doesn't smoke. You know, like they all looked out for me like that. You know, like they respected.
I mean, that's good that you had homies like that, but
Yeah.
also that's crazy that you had willpower like that to not smoke it.
I don't have that willpower no more.
No, you don't have it anymore. You had that 17-year-old resolve though.
I
Bro.
was like, I'm a D.A.R.E graduate, god dang it. I made a commitment.
You did. You made a commitment to Nancy Reagan. Was it Nancy Reagan at the time, or was
Yeah,
it?
the 80s. Yeah, it was the 80s.
Okay, so there you go. Oh Lord.
So
Good old Nancy Reagan. Just say no, kids. Well, we're here to tell you to just say cannabis. Yes.
now, yes.
Don't try the hard stuff. I would never do that, but
Yeah.
cannabis for sure.
Yeah.
It's my medicine every day. But so your friends are now the drug kingpins of the Orange County.
I don't know if they're drug kingpins.
Okay, well, whatever they are, they're doing well for themselves,
Yeah.
selling cannabis, and they have now their goal of free weed.
Yeah, so they got free weed, right? And then they made a ton of money,
Mhm.
right? Like they were able to like buy a house, like all together, like all of them, right? They had like a pool table.
What happened to that house?
You know, like when they graduated, they just they sold it off and then they just got their shares back.
Wait. What?
So like everyone pitched in like a certain amount, right?
Wait. They graduated and then they just stopped?
Yeah, like oh yeah, that's the thing. Like they never caught any flack for anything, you know, like I
You
think
guys never got caught? No cops ever went to the house? Never nothing?
no, man. Like it was it's kind of it's
That's probably why you're not saying any names, because it's
well I don't I'm pretty sure like I'm past like any statute. Well, I can't be sure of that, but I'm not trying to.
Well, there's no statute now for weed, especially.
No, but like I'm not trying to burn anyone.
No, yeah, and you shouldn't.
Because
Yeah,
all my
and-
friends now are
And especially since they all got off like James Bond, all in mother.
No, it's crazy. Yeah, they they did it for like 4 to 6 years, depending on which person you talk to.
As far as the school goes.
Yeah, depending on.
I mean, some nursing programs are more difficult than others.
None of these guys were nurses, man.
Okay, good.
Like,
What did they all end up being?
oh, they're all different things. Like now, for the most part, a lot of them are accountants. There are a few nurses. There's a couple of them, but like all my friends have bounced around. Like I think I'm just of that generation where like in terms of career, people had to like shift a bunch of times.
I feel like, I mean, as far as jobs, jobs are different than careers. Like
Yeah.
money providing jobs where you need to make this, work this shift to make this money to pay this whatever bill or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is different than a career.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the same career since 1997. My first professional play, I've been an actor, and then, now stand-up comedian only for lack of acting opportunity, but also because I love it and I'm really starting to enjoy the craft. But like, I'm kind of happy that I've been consistent in that way, and I feel like you are that way too. You have a job,
Yeah.
but you've been an actor for a good chunk of your adult life,
yeah,
right?
yeah, a very long time.
Like when did you start acting?
Uh, I always wanted to be an actor. Like when I was a kid, I was like an extra on TV shows and stuff. Like, uh, a lot of my friends when they
Well, you had
introduced
the
me.
opportunity. You lived here in LA, so you could just
Yeah,
go.
like I grew up in around the industry. Growing up in LA, like you had weed, you had the industry, you had
Man.
the Lakers, the Dodgers. Oh my God, it's such a good time out here.
You see how he dropped them sports teams on my podcast, which is from a Chicagoan. Okay, I'm not gonna. You can
My
go-
podcast, we're co-hosts.
Yeah, we're co-hosts, but I guess we're
Fool.
gonna have to be co-hosts when the Cubs and the Dodgers play at the Dodger Stadium.
That's fine.
We could do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
That would be fun, actually.
Yeah.
Can we smoke at Dodger Stadium? I mean,
No.
we could always on the down low. I'm not trying to vape. I don't like to vape.
Yeah. No, no, you can't. You can't. No marijuana around Dodger Stadium.
Okay,
I mean,
well then you just have to get really stoned before the game.
yeah, or edibles.
And then edibles.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait.
Sorry.
I stopped. Wait, your story. Your guys, they stopped after college.
Yeah. So like
But
once
we
they.
didn't. But we never. You never smoked. When did you smoke? When was the first time that you? Because you were straight edge, so you said
Yeah.
you started smoking when you were 21.
Yeah. So I
So
was.
when did you smoke?
That was junior year of college for me. So
Junior year of college. So what happened junior year of college?
a girl messed me up real good.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, heartbreak.
Heartbreak. Oh, yeah, that'll do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but
It's
wait,
just
were you
emotion
sad and then it
taking
made you
all- sorry.
smoke? Or like you were like, oh, fuck it? Or was it just you were sad and then you just were like, what was it? What's the motivation? What are you talking? What do you mean?
Well, for me, I felt like I always had followed the rules, and following the rules for me wasn't like panning out like the way I thought it
feel
would.
you. Like a girl just you broke your heart and like
Yeah,
you've
like there was just
always been the nice guy and now
Yeah, there was just a bunch of stuff, and I was just like, okay, this is not working, so let me explore other avenues, right? So on my 21st birthday, and it wasn't like I wasn't crazy, like I was very sheltered when I was a kid, so like on my 21st birthday, like my roommate and a couple other of my buddies, we just walked down to the gas station and we bought 40s of Corona, right? That was my 21st birthday at midnight,
you had a gangster ass birthday.
I guess so.
You drinking 40s?
Yeah.
From the gas station, bro? You might as well have done a drive-by on 20.
I was in Riverside, yeah. It was pretty much that's that life. But yeah, after that, I was okay with drinking. I hadn't really thought of weed like that.
So you're just drinking 40s, you were cool.
Yeah, I'm just drinking, beer, liquor, whatever. Okay, I get it,
Okay.
And then I went to my buddies. It was St. Patty's Day, right? I had gone over there. They had a gig later that night in downtown Long Beach for DJing, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, roll through," And I was like, "Okay, cool." I got there. Everyone was doing their own thing, and then in the kitchen there were brownies, and I was like, "Ooh, those look good." I had one, and I was like, "Hey guys, is it cool, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." I had gone upstairs to play video games on one of my friend's computers, and in the middle of the video game, I was like, "Uh-oh, I feel funny." Something is going on. I don't understand these sensations in my body and in my head. What's happening?
Yeah.
And so I turn off the game. I go downstairs. At that point, all my friends are, they're just hanging out. They're all there now. They're like, "Hey guys, I feel weird. I don't know what's going on." And they're like, "What do you mean you feel weird?" I was like, I don't know how to describe it. I was kind of speechless. And one of the other dudes was like, "Hey, did you have any of those brownies?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did."
So your first experience was edible?
Yeah, and this was before it was all regulated into dosages.
So you didn't even know how much you ate?
Well, they said roughly each piece had an eighth in it.
Oof.
Right? An eighth worth of like a weed butter or whatever that was in it. An eighth's worth. So at that point, I start to like I start to freak out a little bit, and I'm like, so like, hey guys, so what do I do? Should I throw up or whatever? Like, right? And they're like, nah, it's in your bloodstream. You just gotta enjoy the ride. And they were just like, you might as well just eat another one, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I was like, okay, in for a penny, in for a pound, like, so. So I had another one, and then, dude, like the rest of the night, like I lost control of myself. Like I remember, I was in the garage, and when I was heading back in, like, you ever been on the Universal Studios tram ride, and there's that one area where it's like an avalanche, and like it rotates or whatever.
For sure.
And so like I felt that.
But you were not on the Universal Tram ride.
Yeah, like I was in a garage in the OC. And so like the world started like like it was like I was like framing or like time jumping, skipping, whatever you know that sensation. And I remember like we had sat down. My buddies used to play like just cash and go like poker tournaments. That'd be like $5 every like winner take all or whatever. Like we're in college, so they're like whatever.
And also they had all the money in the world. So
well, yeah, just for
shits and giggles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm in. And the moment I sat down, I turned mute. Right, like I remember I had to brace myself on the table. Like I had to put my palm on the table with my elbow up in the sky because I thought I was gonna fall off the face of the earth. Right, and I couldn't move. Right, and like I was like comatose. Right, and so like they start playing this poker tournament, and they realize like, oh, he's messed up. Right, like so they play for me. Like they play by proxy. I end up winning second place.
You still won, and they were. And the two guys on the side of you were playing for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I think they obviously dealt with really high and stoned people before because they sell weed to people, so I'm sure they knew how to deal with it. But I'm sure it was a new experience for them dealing with you though.
Yeah, because they're like, oh dude, he's like God bless my friends, like they're the homies, they're like,
for real, right, man, you got some good friends, man.
Yeah, like I do, and I'm very thankful for that. But they were just like, okay, we gotta look out for this dude, like we gotta, he's always like usually looked out for us, so let's return the favor. And I was like, thank goodness for karma or whatever you believe it is,
Well, man, and also good friends. That's good friends more than anything else. That's good.
So I remember we get in the car, right? Like my friend has to literally carry me into the car, and he has the foresight to bring like a plastic bag with him just in case, because he's like, oh, you look like you might be sick, right? Like, so I was like, okay. I remember going to like from where we were driving to downtown Long Beach, and like my friend's playing music, and I'm seeing things. I'm seeing like musical notes like dancing in the air. Right? I'm just like,
really?
Oh yeah, like I was like hallucinating.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh man, I'm
look at me,
super high.
I'm a pothead when you're describing stuff to me. You're like, I'm hallucinating. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, no.
I've only probably tripped or hallucinated. I can probably count on one hand the times that I've hallucinated from weed.
Yeah, like, and that's why this was my first. This was my first time.
That's awesome,
right? So, it was a little intense. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah,
right?
It would be a little intense.
So,
but you also ate it though. So
yeah,
eating it is so much. You only intake like 20% of the THC when you smoke it, but you intake everything when you eat it.
Is that? Okay.
And I'm sure the numbers are a little bit. I'm not a scientist, so it's not like exact numbers, but you definitely ingest and your body intakes more THC when you're eating it than anything else, because you're eating it, you're ingesting it into your whole body, and your body is going in your bloodstream and your digestive
hitting everything
system
faster.
Yeah. So that's crazy that was your first time.
Yeah. So I wake up and we're at the parking lot. My friend is talking to a parking attendant. I jolt up, my eyes like open like I'm in The Exorcist, just. And then I throw up into the plastic bag my friend brought, like in front of this parking attendant who's just trying to tell us where to go, right? I'm like, like all in there, and he's like, oh yeah, you gotta park over there, like it was like one of those situations.
Throw that somewhere else.
Yeah. So like after that I was able to move again. Like I felt like
you were good probably.
yeah, no, like it was like my life came, like my soul came back into my body.
Sure.
Like, because like for a while
because it was all like absorbing, and then after you let it out,
I was straight up like having an out of body experience, and throwing up just like brought me back to earth.
Okay,
like,
cool.
So,
but were you still stoned?
Oh hell yeah, I was. Like I remember I walked into the bar, and it was like a sushi restaurant type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, give me 3, like just give me 3 of whatever, like.
So for you, it was sushi, and for me, it was burritos.
Yes, eh?
Multiple burritos. You can go back to episode 1 if you want to hear that story of multiple burritos being ingested by me. But go on. Now tell me, when was the first time you smoked?
That was the first time I smoked.
So you smoked after?
Oh wait, no, smoked. After that, it was the next day. Like
you were like, let's get into this.
No, like I said, my friends have like they had everything. I mean, like they were like, oh, we're gonna.
So you mistakenly ate a weed brownie.
Yeah, and
then your friends, in diagnosing that, they said eat another one.
Yeah.
And you got super stoned.
Yeah.
Started hallucinating.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very next day, you was like, let me.
Well, yeah, because like for me, I was like, okay, that's the worst it's gonna get. Like that's the worst it's gonna get.
Let me try this other shit.
Like no, well, I was around a very good, like I guess I had a positive experience. Like I said, my homies were awesome.
I mean, yeah.
But like they really prepped me. Like, and I kind of like I knew what I was. Like at a certain point, like I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this. This is what they've gone through. Like I had that realization. Like
mm-hmm.
I get it now. Like
for sure,
I get it. Like. But yeah, they like my friends. They caught me up real quick. Like they had I smoked weed every way imaginable from then. Like they.
Like, let me ask you this: when you say you get it, what do you mean by that? Like because I know for me it's like medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really is. Like I use it every day, all throughout the day,
mm-hmm.
as medicine to help regulate my thoughts and regulate my brain. But when you say you get it, what do you mean by that?
What I mean is like I said, I was around it a lot before I actually started doing it,
mm-hmm.
and so I could see like my friends, and they'd be like, oh man, I'm freaking faded. Like I never knew what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or they'd say something like like just something related to weed, like, oh man, I'm too high to do anything right now. Like.
Mm-hmm.
And I
you could relate, you could empathize.
Yeah,
with that
experience. I understood that.
Okay, well then let me ask you this: what does cannabis now? Do you smoke every day?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what does cannabis now do for you? Like, why do you smoke it every day?
For the most part, like it's, I would see it as meditative. Like it helps me think.
Okay. So it's like part of your meditation.
Yeah, like it does help slow things down for me.
Sure.
I do recognize that when I don't smoke, I do get a little clarity. Like there's a little more like a sense of clarity in terms of like some types of thinking, right? And I've gone for long periods like I can stop weed cold turkey and
sure.
then like go for like a couple months and then just go back to it. Like it's not addictive for me. If anything, I'm addicted to the way it makes me feel because I enjoy it. I enjoy the feeling, right?
Yeah, it's like why would you not want to feel pleasure?
Yeah.
Like it makes you feel pleasure. That's literally the dopamine chemical in your brain that it's creating.
But it also like I feel it also like just grounds me. It makes me more relatable, makes me less irritable.
Man, I feel you, man. I wouldn't be. I don't know that I'd be able to do stand-up comedy without weed.
I feel like naturally I'm very anxious, like, and it's. I don't know if it's uncommon for actors, like you get a certain sense of anxiety of being on or performing or whatever like that, and for me, like it kind of centers me, and it just gives like I don't do it like professionally because I don't like I'm not on camera, I'm not high unless like the actual scene calls for it, right? Like
sure.
Like I don't do like that like But as soon as I'm done, like at the end of the day, like, oh, I need to shake some stuff off. I need to relax. Like I just need to roll it back.
Sure.
So it helps. It helps.
I feel you. No, I am a all day, every day, throughout the day kind of smoker. Where it really does, like, I dose it out like medicine, but at the end of the day, come on, let's be real. I just smoke a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think about being addicted. Am I addicted to it? I probably am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because my brain is addicted to the chemicals that it creates, and my and the more I learn about this, and I feel like that's my goal with this podcast, is to learn more about this and how this plant affects me as I grow it, but also as I smoke it and as I ingest it and however I do it. I want to learn more about that, and I want to also share that knowledge with the audience.
Yeah.
And we go on this journey together as we learn more about the benefits of cannabis, because I know that there's medicinally benefits. I mean, I've started reading books about where the title of the book is Cannabis is Medicine.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of benefit to this plant, and I want to really, because I think that there's a lot of benefit to this plant, and as Filipino Americans, we've been used to demonize this plant. So I feel like now the more we learn about this plant, the more we can benefit from it, not only just medicinally, but also from a monetary standpoint, and we can start, getting into this cannabis industry and start learning about the cannabis industry, being a part of it, investing in it, working in it, doing all these different things, because it's definitely an industry that's growing, and it's going to be something I hope that the Canna Kuya podcast can be a part of. And I think, like, you have a really cool knowledge, because like we had a smoke session before we started this episode.
Sorry for a little slow.
No, I don't. I feel like it's a good thing, and we just sampled my second harvest of the fabled Gelato 33. I know Mitch doesn't like when I call it the Larry Bird cut, but that's what it is.
How dare you?
It's the Gelato 33 Larry Bird cut.
You're lucky we're in your house.
I know. But it's not. You see, and he said Dodgers and Lakers when he's in my house, so it's the same thing.
Till I die.
But anyway, I just grew out this Gelato 33 from Buds and Roses dispensary in LA. They're famous for providing clones and seeds for LA for a long, long time, since the 90s. And I love them. Shout out to them, Buds and Roses. And they're really cool staff, really cool, funny, really knowledgeable staff. And they gave me this because I wanted to buy 3 of Chili Verde. And they were like, no. You want this cut of Gelato 33. You want one of these at least. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I took it. I took all 3, and I grew out the Chili Verde. We smoked the Chili Verde. What'd you think of that?
Yes, it was good. There is a difference between homegrown weed versus like what you guys are picking up in stores or dispensaries, whatever you want to call it.
Even with the Chili Verde.
Yeah, because like for one, it's freshness. You're getting it straight from the source. It's not getting packaged. It's not sitting on a shelf for like a long time. Like you can't get fresher than if you grow it yourself. I mean,
but as far as like specifically to like, what did you think? Because your palate is really good when it comes to stuff. Because like you said, you grew up with weed, and now when you've been smoking it now for a while, and now you've tried a lot of different strains. You grew up in LA, which is basically the capital of weed, where all the hot strains start. So you've basically been able to try a lot of different stuff.
Yep.
And so for me, like, your opinion of my first or second harvest, or my second harvest now, and your opinion of its smoke and how it tastes and how it feels, that's part of the reason why you're my co-host, is because you have that good palate. So tell me, what did you think of the Chili Verde when you smoked it?
That's not the one we smoked today.
That's not the one we smoked today. That's the one when I cut it down and I gave you a whole bunch.
Okay, yeah. So no, that's what I've been smoking on recently. Like it's solid. It's like you gave me a lot of the shake.
Yeah.
So I've been just like rolling that into J's.
We have footage of the J's.
Yeah.
Quick footage. No, but okay. So the part of the reason why I bring up the Chile Verde is because I wanted to have something to compare it
Yeah.
to, because we're talking today we smoked the Gelato 33, which both buds, actual buds, have been curing in the jar for about a week and a half to 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't touched the bud because, like Mitch said, we've just been smoking the shake from when I trimmed it. So we've been basically smoking the sugar leaf joints, which, if you do start to grow your own, that is a delicacy unto itself that you have. Like, when you're waiting for your good, big, huge buds to cure, you can smoke all that sugar leaf, and that sugar leaf will last you for a long, long, delicious time. Because, man, the last show I did, I was passing out joints. It was great. But anyhow, today was the first day that Mitch and I both tried and took a bud from the jar of the Gelato 33, and I'm going to let Mitch go ahead and describe his experience on it.
Yeah, so if I could describe it, the best way to talk about it would be like I got sucker punched. I got sucker punched. We were smoking out of a bong, and I hit it, and I took a really clean hit. I took a decent sized hit.
Yeah, I filmed you when you were hitting it.
Yeah.
It was really smooth. You even blew it out, and no coughing. You were chill.
Yeah, and then I lost my shit for a little bit. Like,
yo, guys, he fell out. It's like almost like he fainted, and I got scared for a minute, and then he woke up, and then he was like, "Man."
Yeah, no, like it hit me, like it rung my bell. It like hit me in the right spot on the jaw. It made my skull vibrate. And
you guys, he's like stroking my ego so much about describing it like this, because part of me was concerned when he kind of fell out because he was coughing for a minute, and then he like kind of collapsed onto the table, and it really did legit scare me. But I was also like, damn, I grew some good weed.
Yeah, no, like I saw space and time. It was all relative. Like,
and that's the trip. Okay, guys, and it's part of why I wanted to end the episode on this story. Was the moral of this story is grow your own, because you will never ever smoke better weed than the weed that you grew for yourself, because your heart and soul went into that. And once you get into it, it really does connect you back to nature, and it really does connect you back to yourself. It's such a therapeutic thing, and y'all really need to grow your own, because then you can make your best friend pass out with the weed and how
I
good
didn't
it
pass
is.
out. It's just like it kind of it threw me for a loop. It was kind of like my body had to process, and the thing that I was telling Eric is that it brought me back like to the college days, right? Like it tasted like the same kind of bud that my buddies used to smoke me out with, like
That good quality Prop 15 where it was all homegrown weed.
well, no, this was before then. Like,
Even then, before that, because
Yeah.
I mean, even that was all homegrown weed.
yeah, it was
basically.
all homegrown. It
Yeah.
wasn't legal though. Like
Yeah, it
if
was-
you got caught with any kind of like plants, you would get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but-
and I remember like I said, like since I didn't freaking do anything before, like my friends caught me up to everything real quick. You
Yeah.
know? Like I smoked every which way,
Well,
vaporizers.
that's like the best compliment you could give me, though, that it reminded you of the homegrown from old school, because that's kind of what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Because this dispo weed that you get in the dispensary, it's of low quality,
It's
especially
alright.
when you're not trying to spend a grip of money.
Yeah, like the amount they're charging for like top shelf weed, I feel is, I mean, get your money, guys. That's, I'm all about business, but like if you really want business, you want people coming back to you like repeatedly and not getting gouged. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but at the same time, part of it is, it costs money to grow quality weed, so they have to charge those prices, because it is a process to grow.
yeah,
But the problem is that for me, it's the mid-grade quality, because that's the only quality that I can afford when I go to the dispo. So I don't want to afford that. I don't want to buy that anymore. I don't want to pay for that anymore. I want to have the highest quality. And the only way I'm really going to have that is if I grow my own. And if I teach my friends to grow their own, because then I can go to their house and smoke theirs.
I need to get a bigger place.
Well, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. It's only episode 2, homie. We got a long way to go.
Follow us on our journey as we see if I can upgrade from a 1-bedroom apartment to a possibly 2-bedroom.
We gonna get this bitch a car. Let's go.
A car? You want me to live in my car?
No, a car and a house. Look. Okay, I'm gonna stop before we'll cut that part out. No, but now we're setting goals and trying to be. We want to be the Filipino American voice for cannabis, and we're out here. My name's Eric Esteban,
and I'm Mitch Narito,
and this is the Canna Kuyas episode 2. Tune in for episode 3 coming next Wednesday, because we're gonna hit you every Wednesday with a new episode.
And if you guys like what you're listening to, give us a like, subscribe, write a review, keep us out there, push us out there, share.
If you're listening on iTunes, the best way is to write a review. Write a review. And them 5 stars are much appreciated. Please, please do. Because we're going to start having some giveaways and different things as these episodes progress. And the more people who write reviews, you have that is your first enter to win in the Canna Kuya giveaways that are coming in the future episodes. So please do. Please write a review. And thank you.
Yeah, I got my hoodie on, now peep the chest as human catalyst. Downtown Chula Vista, on 3rd Ave where I go cop some shit. Fuck a thief, so fuck zoomies, yeah, they whack ass jacket shit. Yeah, I move too swift, so I striking silence. Fuck the violence, man, check my mileage, cause I got driving. First tour, I drove 6 states, never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, building enterprise, move supersize. Y'all let shit like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize, yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too dope, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really ride designer.
Let's go, gang, highest in the room, yo, we get fucked up. You can count on Trey, cap, bring the loud pack. Get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run. Yeah, get the up or leave the fuck a Folgers. Little bitch, I made the beat and dropped the full verse. I just hit a steelo, I got dripped up. Package born and raised, bitch, I got dripped up.